I blocked my ex everywhere except email. Now I'm paying the price. When me and my boyfriend Nate broke up in July, I thought I was finally free. It's not like he was toxic or anything. We mainly just had different senses of humor. For example, I laugh at anything that involves babies being silly or animals just being animals. Meanwhile, he'll only laugh at the expense of others, especially at mine. For example, on my 21st birthday, he told me he was having an affair. We had a 2-hour-long conversation about why he did it, who he did it with, and how he kept it a secret for a whole year. It was only when I was in tears, rocking back and forth, that he finally admitted he was joking. And as he spent my birthday clutching his stomach, rolling around on the floor laughing, I sent it in tears, curled up into a ball in the corner of his room. Things were never the same after that, but I loved him. So we stayed together for another year before finally breaking up. We met on Bumble and didn't have any mutual friends, so it was mostly a tidy breakup. Except for one thing. Nate was a very reckless spender. And during our relationship, a lot of his money was spent on wooing me. Flowers, designer dresses, shoes, everything. So when he reached out at the start of April asking if I could loan him money to help pay his taxes, I wasn't even surprised. I remember reading his notification and rolling my eyes, but it was only $2,000, a fraction of what he'd spent on me. So I sent it. He thanked me, and I was honestly happy to never speak to him again. But the next day, he sent me a video of him inside a bright green Lambo with Travis Scott playing. His friend grabbed the phone and started shouting at the top of his lungs, "Yo, Meg, you're the goat for renting this car for us." A wave of disgust combined with nausea washed over me. That was a chunk of my savings, wasted on some prank. The next day, when he had sobered up, I told him I was never sending him money again, but just before I could block him, he started typing. He apologized and said he'd never pull some BS again. I didn't respond. I just blocked him. Everything. His main account, his spam, his Snapchat, WhatsApp, his family, his little friends, everything. No more Nate. And immediately, a knot that had been stuck in my stomach was undone. But it was still hard. It took months for me to be able to cry without feeling scared of someone laughing at me, to trust what others told me without feeling like I was being pranked. And just when I started to feel good, guess what happened? He emailed me. And if there's anyone who can push my buttons well, it's Nate. Because within 10 minutes, I had gone from healed to listening to Nate's apologies and getting butterflies all over again. But one thing had changed. I was smarter. So when he asked to meet up, I agreed, because I trusted myself not to act on any feelings. Of course, looking back, I wasn't as smart as I thought I was. But I guess sometimes you really do have to learn a lesson 1,000 times before it sticks. It started off pretty sweet. He was wearing the same outfit he wore when we were 18. I got in his car and he was playing the same song he was playing when I got in it the first time. He even pulled out my chair for me before I sat down, or so I thought, before I realized it was just another trick, because he did the thing where you pull it out as the person is going to sit down and they fall on the floor. As I fell on the carpet, he chuckled. But instead of making the joke last 10 minutes, he helped me up straight away and even said sorry. So I went out with him again and again. And by the third date, I remembered exactly why we broke up. I showed him the bikinis I wanted to order for summer. And with no hesitation, he said, "Well, you're not Margot Robbie, and those bikinis won't change that, but order them if you want." I smiled weakly, not wanting to ruin our good day by getting upset, but he kept going. Now that we're on the topic, you could definitely stand to lose at least 15 pounds BTW. Like, damn. Still, I stared at the ground, stoic, nonchalant. Like, do you have zero empathy? I have to look at you every day, and you can't even go to the gym for a few hours a week? Well, that broke me. Snot ran down from my nose to my mouth. I cried so hard my hair got frizzy, and the harder I cried, the more he laughed. I didn't even notice he had his phone out the whole time. I just walked out and finally decided I was done. Reblocked him on everything. Every organ in my body felt numb, empty. And when I got home, all I had the energy to do was lie in bed, doom scroll, and eat some Ben & Jerry's. That's when a TikTok video came up. It was me, crying on Nate's bed, edited with a clown filter over my face and sad violin music playing in the background. The caption read, "When she thinks being mid means she deserves respect." It got 40,000 views, but this time, I was the one laughing. Not because I wasn't embarrassed, I was. Not because I wasn't extremely heartbroken, I absolutely was. But because Nate thought he could do whatever he wanted, with zero consequences, which meant he would never see me coming, and I was going to get the last laugh. I don't have time to finish the story in this short video, but it gets intense. Click the link or go to my channel to watch it.